Today we'll be talking about the Benchmade Bugout, one of the most talked about knives on YouTube in 2018. Is it a great everyday carry knife or an overpriced piece of junk? Find out now. Now, most of my reviews will not be a real technical spec sort of review. You can get those a lot of places on YouTube, and it's just not my thing. I'm going to be reviewing actual application of the knives, how they feel to me, quality of build, their usefulness, the purpose of their build and what they are used for, those sort of things. So take it from that aspect. That said, let's go over some quick specs of the Benchmade Bugout. So the Benchmade Bugout comes in technically 5 different setups. They say 6 setups, but one of these is just a family thing. So this is the coming soon expensive version, $750. I will not be reviewing that, but let's get down into the ones that are applicable. So you have a satin finish, blue handled version, a straight blade, also a version with the serrated blade, and you have the same as well with the OD green and black blade with both regular edge and partial serrated edge. Jumping into the version I have, I purchased the OD green handle with the black blade. Also no serrations. I'm not a big fan of serrations, so I got this version. It's a beautiful knife, great in your hand. We'll talk about that in a second. So just looking at really quick specs, it's S30V steel. If you're not a knife nut or a person that knows a lot about steels, I'll talk briefly about a layman's of what that means. It's plain edge, gray coated, drop point style blade, deep carry pocket, which is part of its appeal, lanyard hole on it as well. So it is a pretty simple, straightforward blade. The purpose of this, if you read this about the product, is it's really meant to be whether you're in the city or the mountains, it's a lightweight folder that will be ready for you where you are. So it is supposed to be just a simple, light, inconspicuous, concealed carry knife with really good steel on it, really light. Literally, you shouldn't feel it in your pocket unless you need it. So as I said in the beginning of the video, this is a debated knife. And why is that? Well, the price range that this knife's in the $120 to $140, $50 range, bought out on the market, people expect a lot out of a knife, and rightfully so. It's an expensive knife. But the purpose of the knife is the most important thing. So when you're looking at what is the purpose and what is the materials used for that purpose, I think that's what you really have to dive into when you're looking at a quality of knife like this. So let's look at the knife and talk about specifics of that. So this is what I believe they call a shadow man's knife. A knife that someone that doesn't want to draw a lot of attention to themselves, just wants something that'll be very utility driven, very easy to carry, but also very useful. So here's the design, less than a ½ inch thick. As you can see, it's very, very skinny. The blade is as we said a second ago, it's a drop point with a plain edge, extremely sharp. This one again is OD green with the gray or black blade itself, which is I really like. I love the look of it. For me, the second kind of cool is really an important part to it. So the fact that the blade looks really cool is great for me, but obviously it also has to be very useful as well. So the blade, or the handle is very much the controversy. So when you're buying a blade like this one's a little bit more expensive. Buy it on the market for about $135. The handle is made of a plastic. I'm sure it's a hardened or some sort of high quality plastic, but it is plastic. I mean, you can see it bends and it's more less than you would expect from a knife of this price range. That said, the reason for that is it makes it very, very light. This knife, literally when you're carrying it in your pocket, does not even feel like it's there. It sometimes actually freaks you out a little bit that you want to make sure your knife's still there. Personally, I love it. I don't need every handle or blade to be the highest quality. What I need is something that works for me for what I use it for, which is mostly outdoor recreational things, but also working on a car, cutting up some food behind the barbecue, whatever it may be like that. I do love the deep pocket carry. It is just a huge plus for me. That sitting way down in your pocket like that makes it a lot more comfortable. And for at least men's pants, you have those deep pockets, so it shouldn't really affect you. So let's talk about the steel just very briefly. S30V steel is known for having excellent edge retention, and it resists rust, what some people say, effortlessly. With this cover on it, it's not a big issue. If you get the satin one, it could be an issue, but it is really resistant to rust. It's not going to be rust proof. It's not like an H2 or an H1 steel, but it is going to be really good for that. So holds a good edge, rust resistant, will take a little bit more to put an edge on it. So just keep that in mind. As if you're somebody who's not great at sharpening a knife, you may have to take it into someone or buy one of those, one of the new sharpening mechanisms that just makes it a little bit easier for people like me who are they're not great with a stone. Like the Work Sharp have some great knife sharpeners and a few others that you can find on the internet, or leave a comment below and I can give you some suggestions if you would like that. But good steel, rust resistant, hold a good edge, but also it's going to take a little bit to sharpen. So all things considered, I love this knife. I've been using it for about a month and a half. When you carry it, literally you can't even tell you're carrying it. It pops out nice. It has a good flip open, smooth action. The axis locking system is well known by Benchmade. I love it. I've got multiple Benchmade knives. It's never been an issue for me. The plastic handle does not bother me. It is a little bit of investment for a handle material like this, but for a knife that's weighing as light as this is and only less than a ½ inch thick, it's really a great everyday carry knife, as well as something you can trust and rely in. I know people that have bought multiple of these. You can buy different handles for them if you want to make it your own. Since it's been such a controversy, a lot of people are making different handles for them, so out of different materials, so buy yourself a different handle. But I like this setup. I love this knife. I may even buy a second one with the regular satin finish and maybe put a different handle on it. But it's a great knife. Don't overthink it. Don't worry about the fact that it flexes, that the handle's not perfect. It is a exceptional knife from Benchmade, and I know they're selling the heck out of it, so a lot of people out there think it. So if you have the opportunity and the means, go out and buy yourself one. Spontana Jeff signing off.